Alright, YouTube. James O'Keefe and the good old boys at Project Veritas have uncovered yet another plot. Now, during the election, they were the ones that, of course, they were covering the DNC, the DCCC sort of stuff, ancillary groups that were associated with, but not entirely always twain with the DNC, and their own attempts to sabotage Trump rallies. They were the ones that started, for instance, fights at the ladder. They were the ones that were trying to make it look like Trump was, some fucking Nazi or something like that. And a lot of these people are Antifa or they're communists. They're not even really, they're not like neoliberals or anything like that. They're useful idiots for the Democratic Party and nothing more. Now, to preface this, I'll say I'm going to assume that all these fucking retards that I see here that O'Keefe and his people are talking to, I'm going to assume that they've just been sort of tricked into believing that Trump is the next Hitler. And in that way, I can understand, yeah, they may be dumb, but at the same time, not necessarily evil. But regardless, it doesn't make a difference, really, as to what the underlying disease creating the symptoms of their crazy mentality really is. The end result is ultimately the same. This is the sort of thing that causes like assassinations and crap like that. You have people, link in the description on this video, talking to Project Veritas, talking about, yeah, we're going to set off like a massive stink bomb canister at the Deploraball, which is like a big Trump ball that's going to be happening on Inauguration Day. And we're going to cause violence and, all of these other things. And I mean, this probably isn't the worst of it. They probably plan to attack people that are pro-Trump, regardless of whether they're like, partisan, right-wing Republican. Maybe it's a New York Democrat. It's someone who just, they met Trump once and they happened to vote for him. That doesn't matter. You got to realize when you're dealing with like the anti-fascist action people, when you're dealing with like self-proclaimed Starbucks Marxist sort of commies, the people with the iPads and stuff. I know some people thought I was being dismissive and like, you need to realize communism is way more evil than you're giving it credit for. Yeah, I realize that in regards to actual like purist commies, but in this country mostly like 9 out of 10 times it's somebody with an iPad who thinks that they're being edgy and they're doing it just to like fuck women or something like that. I don't even take them seriously. There's no reason to. But we look at this footage and we see them planning literal terrorist acts. Like not like, we're going to mow everybody down. We're going to like bomb the Trump ball or something. But we're going to go to the Deploraball and set off essentially what amounts to a chemical weapon. Now, if you're in like fucking high school and you set off a stink bomb vial or something, nobody really cares. Like nobody's going to call you a domestic terrorist for that. But when you're trying to go to a political event where there's going to be several thousand people potentially, and you're going to gas out the whole building by deliberately targeting the ventilation system, like what happens if there's someone there with like really chronic, like they've got fucking lung problems and they stop breathing and they end up dying? Well, you're a fucking terrorist. That's really ultimately what you are. And these people haven't thought that out. So this is the kind of scum that we're dealing with. What I would say is it's time to defend our president against traitors. It's time to defend our nation against this crap. If you see something, say something in the most literal sense. I'm not talking about like, rat them out to some government agency. They're not going to fucking do anything anyway. Until he's inaugurated, all these groups are under the control of the Democrats anyway, so it will be pointless. But if you see something happening that seems shifty, if you see a bunch of people, they look like they're fucking commies, like standing outside a venue where there's going to be a Trump event, say something to the police. Because they're generally like more right-wing than the average person, the population. They can probably be counted on. You should consider defending him yourself. It's like he's got a bunch of bikers now, like hundreds or thousands of bikers that are going to supply security and in their own words, create a meat fence against all the anarchos and like commies and stuff that are planning to shitpost in real life at some of these Trump events on Inauguration Day. That's what we should be doing. Get the word out that this is actually happening. Project Veritas needs our help to get the word out that there are actually people that are crazy enough to try to essentially attack an event with a giant stink bomb in order to shut the event down. And this is just more, it's like when anarchists say, democracy is dying, Trump is a fascist or whatever. That's something only that a fucking retard fascist would do in the first place, is trying to prevent other people from having a good time. It's not even really that political event. They're just like sort of celebrating because it's inauguration day, and you're trying to gas them all out and like ruin their belongings, make them smell as shitty as the inside of your brain is. I would say that that's just fucked up. And these people are too retarded to even understand that. They don't even realize why the average lame streamer completely ignores these groups. It's like when I go after TRS, it's like, I'm not going after you because you're ethnic nationalists. I'm going after you because your leader's a cuck and because your tactics are bad. I'm not going after you because you say, oh, well, you know, I admire Hitler. Okay, well, whatever. Oh, I want a white ethno-state. Okay, fine. But the way you're going about it is stupid. And you don't even seem to realize that your leaders are like just way out in left field. And he has a fucking diversity officer for a wife, so that should tell you something about the organization. The same is true about like Antifa. They're the people organizing these things that O'Keefe here is like talking to, or one of his people are talking to, don't even seem to realize how hypocritical it is. They're saying, oh, Trump's a fascist, therefore let's act like a bunch of fascists. Now, number one, they're not making any friends doing this, so I wish them well in trying, because you're going to make yourself look like a total tard. But at the same time, if they carry it out, people could actually get hurt. It's just like what I think about the protests. When people stand in the street and block traffic, it's not the inconvenience that's the problem. It's not, oh yeah, I was five minutes late to like my mom's house or something. It's really about the ambulance that's stuck in traffic. The person has a massive like coronary, they fucking die. It's somebody, his girlfriend's about to give birth, and she fucking, you know, she's giving birth in the back seat waiting to get to the hospital. It's something like that. It's like, use a little bit of common sense. I know some of these people, like Antifa, I don't expect them to use common sense. Maybe it's about time that they get the beatdown that they so deserve. And since they're a bunch of terrorists anyway, who fucking cares? Like, they're not going to get protection under the law if their entire goal in this video is quite literally, potentially an act of domestic terrorism. At the very least, it's a property crime. Who fucking cares? Beat them down in the streets or something. We'll take care of them good and quick and get them to shut the fuck up. That's about all. Peace out.